get
Get your
things
shit together.
going
Come
here.
on.
Got to get my shit together here. We have got a great guest with us today. We were going to do this a couple weeks ago, but Kimmie was incommunicado because she was, she was out there advising people on how to be best dressed is what was going on. That's a little joke from our AVN experience. And so today we are doing the interview, and we found Mr. Ross Long, the rabble-rousing ringleader, as I like to call him. And he is out there in the great state of Colorado. And Kimmie Kaboom is coming to us from her undisclosed location in parts unknown. She of course, is in the same state as the birthplace of so many professional wrestlers. She's from parts unknown. And so, Kimmie, tell me about this wall of dicks that you have behind you. Let's start there.
Okay, first of all, it's good to see that your shadow.
Yes, I don't know. The way this is all set up in here is so ridiculous.
It's good to see your shadow.
I'm calling you from witness protection.
Don't say it. But yeah, so this is my cam room area, and this is the only part of the cam room that's actually presentable, because my desk is over here, and like 20 conventions of shit is over here. You're laughing, and I'm dead serious. But we're going to play along like I'm joking. Okay, this is my wall of pleasure products.
That is awesome. This is my wall of pleasure products.
Well, they're also walls of of pain too. I have my little whippy whip here, but no, this is just my little. To me, when you're camming, which is something I have not been able to really do that much of, you would think because I have all this time I could do it, but I can't. But and so I have these because usually when guys see them, like, oh, let's see that one, let's see you use that one, and that's what I do. So that's ta-da.
So you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you show them off, they may want to play with you and watch you play with yourself. So suggestive selling, damn it.
Ross is in Colorado. Looks like he's cleaning his furnace filter. What were you doing there?
That's exactly what I was doing. Actually, I was changing out my shitty old rusted out one with the better one.
Oh.
Okay, he's doing home improvements. I'm talking about my wall of dicks.
It's a typical Friday during COVID-19.
Glad we're keeping you interested, Ross.
And tomorrow I start working on my AC unit, getting the power for it. So
look at that.
I'm not going to be a sweltered, sheltered one this summer. Not now.
So Kimmie,
obviously he hasn't been in the South because it's already hot as hell.
Oh, I well know the South. My mama grew up there in the South Carolina,
God.
so I know how humid it is. And,
oh, it's terrible.
Oh, hell yeah.
So Kimmie, me and Ross interviewed you at Exotica in Denver a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And we had just the funnest time because at the end of the whole Exotica experience, Ross told me that you and, God, who was the little tiny perv magnet that was with James Bartholet? God, what the hell is her name?
Kimberly?
No, she's like a little Mexican girl, I think. She did a TV ID for us, and we just absolutely loved it.
Oh yeah, that girl she was one of the most famous ones there. She was like a presenter at the AVNs just a year ago. But
yeah, you guys,
Holly something.
Holly.
Yeah.
But
Holly Hendricks.
Holly Hendricks and you, at the end of the whole thing, while Ross was packing his camera down, he was like, man, I really liked Kimmie, and I really liked that Holly. So, well, I don't know if it's your southern accent or what it is.
Well, then I'm a smart ass. But
So Kimmie, you've got your Clips for Sale pillow there. You've got what looks like
one of many, because I took more than one.
Oh. That's one thing that Ross brought up when we were at Exotica. He's like, there's so much free crap here. He's like,
look, I can even look. I even like.
Look at that, KimmieKaboom.com.
Like my own little sports sticker.
Is that your own sign? Did you make
Can
that?
you tell I made it myself?
Cheaper that way.
Yes.
I'm not about some cheap. But yeah. Do you need toilet paper? I have plenty.
So, what is the deal with your comic book stuff? You've got your Wonder Woman shirt on there, and then I think, or do you have pajama pants that are?
Yes, I do.
Stewie Griffin?
This is the latest quarantine fashion.
Wonder Woman and Stewie Griffin. And there she's spanking her own ass. That's good. There she's shaking her own ass. Well,
okay.
That's
This is called the Comfort Collection.
So,
or I just don't give a shit for collection.
Well, that too.
I wear that daily.
So, I joked before we got on the air here that you won Best Dressed. Tell Ross the story about you winning Best Dressed at the.
You know, let me tell you something about the BBW Award Show on 2020.
Yes.
No one's going to remember what I won. No one's going to remember a lot about it. But the one thing they're going to remember is the fact that I didn't dress up for the show. Let me tell you. See, what had happened was, as all good stories go, we got there. I think that Sunday before, because we shot. Like a week, actually we got the week before, because we worked a week before the AVN this year. So yes. We were doing content every day, and before that show, my blood sugar was kind of high. I wasn't really feeling good, so I laid down, and when I woke up, it was time to go to the show. And I was going to purposely go when the red carpet had already closed, because it's open between, I think 8 and 9-ish, and I thought, we'll just roll in about 9. We're good. Well, and I told myself, fuck it, if I'm not going to do the red carpet, I thought I was only nominated for one thing. I didn't really think I was going to get that, and I was okay with that, But I wanted to still show the support for the show, so I had some, like holy jeans, and I had, a Porn the Game shirt that they made me with my name on it. Then I had, my bomber jacket that had my name on it. I thought, well, fuck it, I'm just going to wear this, I'll just wear this, be comfy. I'm not going to have to get on stage. I was going to present an award, but, I'm like, just be casual. So, apparently. So, I get there, and the red carpet apparently is still open. And, WTF was there, and I'm like, and they're like, you want to do a quick interview? And I'm like, sure. Because I'm just like, sure, I'm doing Soccer Mom today, but we can do this. Come on, let's make it happen. I got big tits. We'll make it work. So, yeah, so, and I didn't think anything of it. And so we sat over, even in the corner, out of the way, from the stage, in the corner. And the very first award they gave out was the website award. And I had won this 2 years before, 2 years in a row. So I'm thinking, I looked at the little girl who now probably thinks I'm a stuck-up bitch, by the way. I turned around and said, I can't wait to see who wins this. Who wins this year, because I've won this last 2 years. I didn't even know I was nominated in the category, to be honest with you. So I'm looking at her. So now she probably thinks I'm just an uppity bitch, rubbing it in. So, and then the last name they called was KimmieKaboom.com. And I'm like, I look at Daryl like, what? I was kind of confused. And then they called my name as winning. I'm like, what the fuck? Because, so it had a camera focus on me. And they would have needed no caption. Because I very distinctly said, what the fuck? Because I was shocked. So, of course, I get down and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I was very grateful, don't get me wrong. But I'm also kind of like, fuck. So I get up there to the stage and I'm like, I appreciate it. I wasn't expecting it. 2019 was a really rough year for me. Just because I was privy to some conversations that I never thought would take place. I'm really protective of my character, so I was really I kind of got a little bit of a character.
You protect your brand, or as me and Ross have said and have been told on several occasions, your registered service mark.
Well, I don't. I was very surprised by something that happened in the summer of 2019, and it really made me question what I was going to say in the industry. That was how serious it was.
Wow.
Because somebody said something I said. I'm just a very outspoken person, so usually if I have something to say, I'll just say it. I don't really have to say it under my breath. So there was that. It all cleared up and dissipated, but it still stings a little bit, because I was kind of surprised where it came from, as I later found out. But then,
because you always, that's the one thing that me and Ross have always said years and years ago, and that is, don't say anything negative about us because we always find out.
Well,
and so you found out.
well, that's the thing, it's like, I would have never purposely hurt someone, we just wouldn't do that. In fact, I'm always tweeting stuff like that. Let's, be good, be kind, don't be a twat waffle, that kind of thing. So, so anyway, back to the story. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Anyway, so then we go back, and I sit down. I'm still kind of dumbfounded by it, and I'm like, I didn't even know I was nominated for this, because I knew I was nominated for the MILF Award. So I go in, I present actually the MILF Award I think was a little while later on, and I did not even expect to win this award, and I fucking won. So I go up to the stage, and I'm like, the one fucking day one time I don't dress up, because I was just like, and I said, this is like going to the grocery store with no bra on, you just, and you're from clothes. You don't expect to run into anybody, and you run into everybody in town. So pretty much that's why I got the Best Dress Award. So everybody's always teased, ever since then, they've always teased me about the Best Dress Award. So I'm the Best Dress Award for yeah.
So that I'm assuming that what you got in the mail today was an award, right?
It was. This is actually for the Inked Awards.
Look at that.
It's beautiful. It's very heavy too.
Wow.
I know.
Looks like one of my old Access Awards.
Look at that.
They're cheap asses, though.
But no, it's not a toy. It's very heavy. But anyway, it's got BBW of the Year. It's got Inked Awards. It's really beautiful. It really is. Very heavy. But yeah, so they got that to us. There was a little snafu with getting the awards from last year. I won this like last November-ish. And there was a big snafu with it. And then with the coronavirus going on, it made things delayed. So anyway, I did get it, and I appreciate it. And it's awesome. It goes on my wall of awards and that I need to dust off.
So Kimmie Kaboom's with us today here in our broadcast, and also riding shotgun with us today, Mr. Ross Long, the biggest star in the business. Forget about what you've heard.
Not really, but
Ross the boss, the rabble-rousing ringleader.
If I wanted to ramp it up to 100%, you'd be right. Yeah.
He's only giving us about 89 right now. So.
That's right.
It's more like 13%.
He's at 13%.
Yeah, so I can really, pump it up there.
So we've heard.
I don't need one of those.
Ross just bought himself a house fairly recently. I guess that's where he's broadcasting from today, is his house.
Yes. I mean, I was just walking in and my iPad's ringing.
And it was us.
He's like, gotta be that damn Jiggy guy.
That's right.
He's the only one who calls me on Skype. You're about right there, yeah.
Hey,
and for me, I have to be invisible on Skype. Because if I'm not invisible on Skype, it'll constantly go off. Like, I mean, I'm constantly blocking.
Many guys want freebies from you that way. I hate it.
They want to see my boobies. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, what led you into being a porn star, doing all this stuff? What was it? The fact that you just have a giant chest?
No, actually, we actually we fell into porn. No, we basically I was doing pinup modeling, and I did a lot of rockabilly type stuff, and because a lot of people don't know the difference. True traditional pinup type girls don't have the tattoos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Rockabilly pinups have tattoos, so there's the difference. So I was doing some rockabilly pinup, and I loved doing it. And my husband was my photographer, and of course he would take some pictures of me, of my tits and everything else, because he is my husband. And he kind of got this wild hair to like send it to some magazines, maybe for like a like an amateur section or something in the magazine. Here's my titties. Here's my wife's titties. So they contacted him back. Of course, they contacted him back and was like, "Hey, would she be interested in doing movies?" And of course, his elation was like, "Yay! Oh fuck!" Because he didn't tell me about it. So, but I'm really cool. I'm really cool. I mean, it's to me, it's whatever. I'm not that stuck up about it. But at first, I thought he was full of shit. I'm like, they can't be serious. I mean, obviously, did you tell him how old I was? Did you tell him how big I was? I didn't realize. Obviously, I know guys like girls my size. Obviously, they do. But I didn't know how much of a market it was, to be honest with you.
Oh, there is a.
Who knew?
So, what I always think is so fun, and I'm glad we've got Ross with us today, so I can sit here and just wonder why, like with you said you didn't understand that there was this market. I didn't understand there was a market for smoking pervs until Ross started telling me about this years ago, and I'm like, what do you mean, like smoking hot pervs? And he goes, no, it's women smoking.
Dude, since I have been in the industry, I have some of the shit I have seen and been requested to do has absolutely, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? But then it has now I have now adopted the phrase, you keep jerking, I keep working. So whatever makes it work for you, So, I mean,
That's fantastic.
But, we just really, it's amazing. And I don't want to knock anybody's fetish.
No.
Each their own, whatever makes them happy. But yeah, there are definitely some moments where I'm like, what the fuck, what do we, okay, all right, whatever, dude. So that was definitely a big eye opener, I guess, and I didn't mean to sound naive to the fact of business, because I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, I have a business degree, so yeah, I get it. But I just did not realize, and I have no self-esteem issues either. So it's like I didn't have a problem with my body. I mean, there's areas, of course, we all have these areas. But, I just, it's not that I didn't think, I mean, I'm comfortable with my own skin. So I had no problem getting naked, and I had no problem screwing on film. That was no big deal. It really wasn't, because it's just a job to me. It's like, I'm clocking in, I'm doing my job, I'm clocking out, So, are you on Pornhub?
No.
Okay.
I'm checking email, doing cool stuff. Why? What is that? Did that look like Pornhub?
Yeah,
no, just messing with you.
I think he's on. I think he's on TalkStream Live.
That's usually late. Yeah, that's usually later.
That's usually
I was just
later.
messing with him but no, that's yeah.
That's awesome.
Shit.
So, well, everybody has to give Ross shit, because believe me, Ross will give us all shit back. That's kind of how it works. So, what does your cup, Kimmie, there say? It says, I've seen it said fuck a few times, but...
It does say fuck, and it gives you the option of checking the box. It's either me, yes, off, that, it, you, this, the man, and yeah. So, check, fuck that, fuck it, fuck you, fuck yeah. It just kind of gives you the options of the day.
It gives you the options of the day. So, Kimmie, have you heard if they're going to do... I know they're supposed to do Exotica in Chicago, which I'm planning on.
That was in April, and I think they reschedule it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the last week of July.
I don't know. I don't know what we're doing, and I should know, because it's like.
And this is up in Chicago?
Rosemont, yeah. Illinois, but they call it Chicago.
Yeah, it's Rosemont.
Chicago, bang bang. Nobody gets that, but that would work in the porn world.
It's actually boom boom, but okay, fine. But no, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing because honestly, I don't think we're done with this. You know, it's just not done. I really think, you know, using my noodle, I feel like it's going to probably dissipate a little bit during the summer, but I think it's going to ramp back up again in the fall and the winter.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we're done. I don't think we're done.
I think people are tired of being cooped up. I think people are more willing. I was just at Lowe's today twice. Oh God, that place is just so packed. When it's the one,
because it's the only fucking store open.
Yeah, it's like one of a half a dozen stores, you know, in a place that, you know, in a community of 100,000 people. Yeah, so yeah, there's gonna be a lot of people at Lowe's. No, I think people are willing to take the risk. I mean, maybe they're just coming to their senses that this virus is not really a killer virus. I mean, unless you're excessively obese or, you know, 80 years old or have prior respiratory problems, well, like kind of like when the flu kills people, maybe maybe you don't need to be quite as careful as that, you know, rather, you know, slightly defined group of people. And, you know, I feel sorry for my sister. She has asthma, and there's nothing she can do about that. But she just has to be almost, you know, she's in a almost quarantine state. You know, she hardly sees her husband. You know,
I mean, I have asthma and a chronic bronchitis, so, and diabetes, and A positive. So I'm like checking off the boxes.
Oh my God.
I'm fucked. But no, yeah, I get it. I get it that people are tired of being quarantined. I do get that. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't lift some restrictions, but I just feel that people are fucking idiots, okay? And they're not.
And they'll go, bleh, bleh, bleh.
I mean, they're licking ice cream, okay?
That's great.
I just read a Facebook post where a friend of mine was saying that she was checking her mail and she looked down, next door neighbor was checking his mail and he was putting his mail, he was going through it and he's putting it in his mouth as he's going through it, like shifting through it. I'm like, and she's like, Corona? You know, COVID, can you not, you know? But yeah, that's the only thing I have an issue with is the fact that people, it's like for me, I will wear a mask in public, not for myself so much as I would feel terrible if I was asymptomatic and had it and gave it to someone else.
Well, that's
so.
And they say that's the only place where a mask is actually going to help anything. It's not going to help you from getting it,
Right.
but if you have it, it will protect others from getting it.
Yeah, it keeps you being an asshole and give it to somebody else. So, you know,
But
I just don't worry.
I would think half or less than half of the people at Lowe's today in a very crowded, you know, store situation was wearing masks. Maybe half and half.
I want a mask that has little bitty penises on it, and then that way when people come up and look at it and go, you're too close if you notice it's a dick.
Oh, I saw that on the internet, so that's not your original.
No, it's not my idea.
I saw that.
I do want that. That's the one I want. Or that or something vulgar, you know. Or like, if you can read this, you're too fucking close, you know. Something like that, you know.
Yeah, I agree. That would be very cool.
Back up, bitch. You know, but
That's awesome. So Kimmie, do you think we're going to have the AVNs in January in Vegas, or do you think this is not going to happen?
I don't know. Because, you know, only reason why I say I don't know is because I know how I am at these shows. I've always been, I'm a hugger. I'm from the South. It's what I do. It's just what I do.
You must have Italian in you also. No.
I've had lots of in me, honey. It's just a reaction for me.
That's
Whenever
awesome.
I see you, I give you a hug.
Well, yeah.
And,
you even hugged Macho Man out there.
I hug everybody. I'm a hugger. So I'm going to die, probably. But no, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, and I don't know what kind of precautions would be in place or how that would work. And
because a convention situation is almost like being on a on an airplane as for being close to others.
It's like licking a stripper pole, dude. Okay, it's a cesspool.
Hey, they clean their stripper poles, or at least
I was a stripper in
they're supposed to.
No, they do not.
They have a stripper pole school here in Pueblo, and I know the owner of it. And
oh my God,
they're good. They're talented.
You know what? Back when Jesus was a boy, and I was actually doing that. It's amazing how accepted it is now. Because I know when I was doing it, I was the poor white trash piece of shit slut, kind of person that did that. Oh, she's the one.
It was only for the stripper, industry, I guess, but not anymore.
But you know what? It's a different mentality too, because I've been in strip clubs back since when I was actually doing I was doing a burlesque stripper circuit type thing, and back then it was so different. You made so much. Of course, we didn't have the internet, but you made so much money then doing that, and it just felt different back then than it does now. It's very, to me, it almost seems impersonal now, because
yes,
I know back then when I did it, I'd get tips. I would thank the guys for my tips, and even back then I was selling like little 8x10s, 5x7s. I was like businessing it the fuck out of it back then. I was selling Polaroids, you name it. I mean, I was selling my G-strings. I was already porning it before the porn thing.
Wow.
But no, I was doing it back then. But God, the money I made back stripping, I mean, I was able to purchase my house and pay for all my college and my kids' colleges. So
that's awesome.
I mean, many strippers that way who aren't drunk out drug addicts can make a decent living. You're right. You can pay for your.
Well, you know what I think is funny, and I'm glad Ross is with us so he can tell you this story. Ross one time we had done an infamous episode of Jiggy Jag TV. I think I had shown up as Jiggy Bagloyevich, and Ross told me,
shaking his head.
Ross told me, he's like, let's go out to the strip club, and because Salina had a strip club, and I said, well, what are we gonna do? And he goes, my boy, we're gonna have the strippers give us money. And I'm like, what? And so Ross, he pulled it off. Strippers were giving us money, and he was making little animals out of dollars. And he had like a frog that if you hit the back of it, it hopped.
Yep.
And he made all these different things. And all these strippers were coming up to us, and see?
That's the only thing I have made now. I gave away a peacock earlier.
And he makes all this stuff. And these strippers, they would come right up to the table and they'd pull out a dollar right out of their G-string, and here you go.
See Ross stay in. He'll be one of the side people on the sidewalks making origami animals for tips.
Well, actually, it went this way, Jiggy. It was a little more interesting.
Go.
That, I think I actually gave, the first stripper, I just gave her a tip of like an elephant.
Yeah.
That way. I went ahead and just gave that to her, and I says, tell your friends about it. I make all sorts of shit. And I think then she came back.
Oh, yeah, and she brought them with her.
Something else, and she gave me $1. And then another one of her friends came back, and she gave me $1. And then, another one comes back, gives me, here's $3. Here, make me cool stuff right now. I say, well, what are you going to pay me?
This is a service.
This is a service. This is a very important service. So.
it's
yes, you do it this way, I do it. But there's my heart again.
That is fantastic.
With a quarter in it.
I took my brother to the strip club once. The last time I've been to the strip club, I took my brother because he was on an army base in Norfolk, Louisiana, and there's only so many things you could do there, and the most popular thing would be to go play cheap pool at the titty bar. So he had a really crappy day, and I'm thinking, what turns a frown upside down? titties. So I took it to the strip club. We're shooting pool. I think we closed the club down at like 2 a.m. He had to be at PT in like 3 hours. And he was drunk on Cooter Brown. I was somewhat sober, but I know I paid. It was like $600 bar tab. It was like,
Jesus.
Don't judge me, damn it. I'm a good tipper. But
More champagne.
take care of my bitches. Okay, so I wish
More Patron. More
I
Cristal.
wish I could say it was champagne, but this was all liquor. This was like hard. Yeah.
Oh
It was,
my
The
God.
Patron crowd, probably, yes.
but anyway, but yeah, it was kind of funny. I think he sweated. He probably sweated bourbon when he ran at PT. I mean, he had to. It was just terrible. I don't know how he did it. I went home with the bed. He had to go to PT. But yeah, yeah, that was one of my my last experiences at the strip club. I enjoyed it. Don't it was it's fun. It's like anything else. You're paying for entertainment, so you just whatever. But yeah, that was my last.
Know what to expect when you go into one, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
walk in.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
you walk in, and yeah, if you walk in and you know what you're getting and you know what you're supposed to do. So that's what we did. I did it well.
We went into that strip club, and who was there? Ed Baldwin.
Ed Baldwin.
That's a whole nother story.
That's
but
a
we won't.
whole other story.
Miles Edward Baldwin.
Yes, Miles Edward Baldwin. He was
Google.
he was like a holy roller conservative kind of guy, and he would go to the strip club and he would sit at this table, and he would just give women money, and they would come sit with him, and they would make their rounds. And then at one point he admitted to us one time in a court case that he met his wife at a strip club. And and then he was like, no, it was Walmart. It was Walmart.
He lost that court case.
Oh, yes.
By the way.
Yes. But we've had some interesting experiences over the years there, Kimmie.
Yes,
I like it.
yes. Just put me and Jiggy together and weird shit fucking happens.
We interviewed Eddie Money and almost got
It
arrested.
happens.
We almost got arrested and thrown out of a public
I
park.
know you are the Symbionese. Whatever.
Oh, yes, Johnny Kim. we
Johnny Kim's cool now, though.
we got thrown out. We almost got thrown out of a public park because we interviewed Eddie Money. We've done all sorts of weird things.
How do you get thrown out of a public park?
They were having a July 4th celebration at this park, and the city brought in Eddie Money.
Yeah.
And it brought in at least 10,000 people,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would think, at least.
Who knew?
But Jiggy just did his due diligence and asked the guy for an interview, and they said, yeah, we'll give you 10 minutes before the concert. And oh God, the sponsors of that concert, oh, they didn't like that. They didn't like that for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've,
Oh, by the way, what states are both of you in? You're in Kansas there, Jiggy. And what
Yes.
are you in?
Florida.
Really? You don't have recreational weed yet, or do you? You have.
I think in South Florida they do. I don't know. I'm not in the weed circuit.
Okay, yeah. I was just wondering if I'm on a Skype call and we're like live on the air, Jiggy, is it illegal for me to like smoke pot in my state, but you show it in your state with the cops knocking at your door? I hear there's pot
It
smoke
is
going on here.
Colorado, damn it.
Yeah, well,
if the cops are gonna come knock down my door, that they better start with the rest of the folks in the drug infested neighborhood here before
I
they.
love how Ross
kind
asked
of like-
a question as he's lighting the bomb. Hypothetical question, Jiggy.
all they'd have to do is just kind of walk your apartment house and sniff at the doors and oh, there's pot smoking going on in here.
That's kind of how it goes down here.
I am so just not, because I don't really drink anymore. If I do it, maybe some wine every now and then. But I don't do anything anymore. I mean, back in the day, I used to do coke. I probably don't drink more.
Used to do
up their nose,
coke.
but I mean, but that was, of course, that was 20 some odd years ago.
Well, yeah.
But I just I just don't do shit anymore. Maybe just because I'm old and falling apart. And
I don't need alcohol. I don't need any of the hard drugs, heroin, meth, coke, any kind.
because I have
But
seen
just give me my pot, man. That's all. That's all I ever wanted.
I've had family who is recovering from cancer which they lived in Alabama, and the weed really helped so much with that. And so I don't know why it's not legal everywhere. I have no problem with it, per se, because it is what it is. And honestly, at the end of the day, I think if they made everything legal and just tax the shit out of it, then people wouldn't be so hyped to do it. Maybe, I don't know.
They tax the shit out of it here in Colorado up to 30.
I think Colorado made like $1 billion the first month they legalized it or something like that.
Well, okay. Oh yeah, it was very popular from the very first in 2014 when they started. However, just this last year or two ago, it's now surpassed alcohol in the amount of revenue that it makes for Colorado. Over $1 billion a year.
Shit.
That's just in taxation, and that's just for the state level. That's not the various, taxes that the municipalities have. So, and Colorado's a big drinking state. It's one of the biggest craft brewery states, and they have all these, local distillers, and there's just people come and party all winter, summer, drinking. But to see that pot is now more popular than even alcohol, I mean, you got to say that we balance our state budget on pot now. I mean, $1 billion a year, $1 billion in taxation a year. That's not sales. That's taxation that the state gets. So, even at
Colorado.
It's no big deal now. There's 7 or 8 other states just like us, pretty much, and just more every year. So it's just really not the big deal. I mean, they've legalized it in Nevada. They've had a few hiccups getting it going and stuff, but it's been
it's medical.
Boom.
I think it's all medically based. You have to have a script for it.
Right.
Shit.
And my answer to that is that let's just drop that pretense. If people want to buy it, and they're 21, let them buy it for their medical use, for pain, for PTSD, for cancer, whatever it be.
For getting high. Just let them
high. Or just to get high. Yeah, just let them have their fucking pot. Let them have their damn pot.
That's awesome.
That's going to be his campaign slogan. Let them have their damn pot.
Don't think there haven't been candidates that have those kind of slogans, because there have been.
If there was a candidate that ran for president that was pro-porn and pro-pot, they would win.
Yes, they would.
Well, I mean, the hard numbers is that, over 60% of people say pot should be legal now.
Yes.
It's not just barely over 50 anymore. It's gone well over 60%.
Well, the only people that say
now.
it shouldn't happen are Southern Baptists, and that's because they only do it in the privacy of their own home, and they can't admit that they're doing it.
Oh, good Lord. I love the Southern Baptists. They're Puritans in the public, but, behind closed doors, they're nothing but perverts. I'm sure you serve a lot of them.
I know. This tattoo is literally, I bought this tattoo and had this put on my body literally for the Southern Baptist congregation. It says, "Don't judge me."
I'm sure that gets you
this was years ago.
Repeat business.
Yeah, it was
that gets you repeat business and referral business too, I imagine.
Yeah. It's funny to see the people I know that go to certain churches in my area, and then see them on FetLife too. It's like, I know you.
That's great.
I've taken pictures of people that they've used on FetLife. I guarantee you that. So.
I loved you. Yep, I did. You just had a mask on. Praise Jesus. But yeah.
That's great. Well, Kimmie, as we wrap up here, how do we find you online and get your stuff? And as I always like to say, give you some of that hard-earned money. Oh yeah, KimmieKaboom.com. There it is.
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at the Kimmie Kaboom. That's TheKimmie And you can find me on Instagram. This is my 6th account, and yes, I'm having to learn to spell it creatively. It's KIMMIEKAB00M.
That's 2 Ks, not in a row.
Not in a row.
Kimmie with a K, Kaboom with a K. Standard spellings otherwise. All right, we can do that. Yeah.
Thank you, Ross. But yeah, of course, you can see my pinned tweet on my Twitter. It has all my Clip Store links, and of course, my website has all the trailers and all the About Me sections, and you can go to my mini vids and click little hearts on all my videos. That's free. It don't cost shit. Go to all my Clip Stores and buy some shit. I don't know. Throw money at me. I have a WhatsApp. I like that too. WhatsApp me, Kimmie Kaboom. I like that too. So, yeah.
I had a band request to do an interview with Michael Nagy over WhatsApp because years ago they did a Skype interview with me and Ross, and they called us from a dark room, and I've made fun of them for years. And so they did an interview with Michael, and they were like, he was like, well, I do all my stuff on Skype. And they're like, no, we don't use Skype. We use WhatsApp. And he tells me later, he goes, have you ever heard of, what the hell was his name? He was from some metal band. And I said, oh, yeah. I said, yeah, that's that one guy that me and Ross did the interview with, like, in 2007 from a dark room. He called us from a dark room, and Ross was like, he does know this is on video, right? So it's quite the deal. But, Kimmie, I appreciate it. Ross, thank you, sir.
No problem. Good seeing you guys.
Good stuff. Hey, it was a good afternoon. Great talking to you. Eat the soft stuff.
The soft stuff.
I'm good.
It's important.
Never mind. Just be y'all. Never mind.
Thank you, guys. There they go. Mr. Ross Long, Mrs. Kimmie Kaboom, or Ms.